Good evening, friends. Welcome to this virtual yoga practice brought to you from the beautiful boardwalk on the San Pedro Creek Culture Park here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm Cassandra Foss from Mobile Om Yoga, and I'm so grateful to have each of you tuning in for this virtual practice made possible by our sponsors at the San Antonio River Authority. Thank you so much for making this a part of your day. I'm so grateful to have you. Let's go ahead and unroll our mats to begin. We're going to start today's practice down on the ground, lying on our backs. So nice and easy. So let's go ahead and find yourself in that comfortable corpse pose or shavasana pose, legs extended, palms facing up towards the ground, and take a moment to get really cozy here on your mats in your practice space. And once you've kind of cozied and found that nice nestled space on your mat, go ahead and close your eyes and just take a few breaths here, really full deep breaths. Just breathing a little relief that you've made it here. That no matter what happens throughout the rest of this practice, the most difficult part, the showing up, you've already done. You're here. And then taking one more deep breath, really full. And maybe a big sigh to let it out. Open up your eyes. Begin to wake up your fingertips. Reach them up towards the sky and then reach them back behind you. And then you're going to find a full body stretch, reaching the heels and the fingers really long. And then pause here. Let your heels come to the ground. And then begin to walk your heels, both heels, over to the right side, keeping your hips on the mat. What we're doing, we're coming into banana asana. So it's like we're creating a banana shape. Once your heels have come to the right side, you're gonna kind of lift and wiggle your shoulders to that same side, but the hips are gonna stay planted on the mat. So to intensify the stretch on the left side body, maybe you take your right hand and grab onto your left wrist, or maybe you lift your left heel and cross your heel over that right ankle. Wherever you are, breathe full, deep, and mindful into this gentle awakening space. Release your wrist if you took a hold of it. Uncross the ankles if you crossed them. Begin to wiggle your torso back to center and walk your heels back to center. Take an inhale to stretch out long both sides. And then as you exhale, settle the hands and feet on the ground and walk them over to the opposite side, finding your banana asana over to the left side. And again, maybe you grab a hold of your wrist, that right wrist with your left hand, or you can cross the right ankle over your left. Big, full, deep breaths. If you took a hold of your wrist, go ahead and unclasp it and uncross your legs. Walk yourself back to center. One last full body stretch. And then this time, bring your knees up and into the chest. Oh yes, it should feel really nice in the low back. Maybe you walk from side to side and give that low back a little massage. And then pause in neutral, right in a neutral spine. And then go ahead and take the soles of your feet down to the ground, about hip-width distance, knees towards the sky. So we're gonna wake up the low back and the front of our hip flexors with some breathing bridge poses. So we're not gonna be focused on getting as high up as we can in our bridge, but just to move with our breath. So it's gonna look like this. As you inhale, you press through the feet and you're gonna begin to curl and lift your hips, and you're gonna lift your arms. Your arms are coming overhead, your hips are moving up towards the sky. And then with your exhale, you're gonna start to curl the tailbone back down and bring the hands back to the mat. So a few of these on your own breath. Inhale, you're reaching the hips up, extending those arms up overhead, pausing at that top. And then a long exhale, to slowly return to that starting position, hands by the hips. Just a couple more on your own. Inhale, lifting all the way up. And exhale, settling yourself down. We're gonna do one more time, but this time stay up. So inhale, lift yourself up, and then just stay in this upright position. Maybe you walk the shoulders down the back, grounding through the feet a little bit more. Taking one more breath, really feel the legs firing up here. And as you exhale, curl the tailbone down. Bring the hands back down by the hips. This time you're gonna bring the knees in towards the chest. Separate them towards the armpits. Bring the soles of the feet to the sky, finding a happy baby. And just rock yourself from side to side here. Continuing to massage out any sensation in the lower back. And then go ahead and pause in neutral. And then release the feet. Knees come towards the chest and rock and roll yourself a few times, massaging the spine until you rock all the way up into a seated space, sitting upright. And then bring the soles of your feet together, your knees wide, finding a butterfly pose. And then you're just gonna extend the right leg forward. So you still have a half butterfly with that left knee. Take an inhale, sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, begin to walk yourself over that right leg. Holding it down, letting the crown of the head get heavy, chin melting to the chest. Take a deep breath in. And exhale it out. One more big breath in. And then exhale it out. On your next inhale, begin to sit yourself upright. You're going to take that left knee and bring it up towards the sky. You can either leave it on the inside of the right leg or cross it over to the outside of your right leg. If you can do so, keeping both sit bones rooted down. Your right hand's gonna be right on that right knee. Left hand comes behind you like a second spine. Inhale, sit up tall. As you exhale, twist around towards that left side. So each inhale, focus on getting really tall and long through the spine. Each exhale, twisting around. One more inhale, breath, sit tall. As you exhale, twist it around. And then inhale, start to unravel. Take a little counter twist. Right hand comes behind you, left elbow to the inside of your knee, and then just pushing it in the opposite way. And then go ahead and release back into center. Bend the right knee to meet your left. Bring the fingertips to face towards your feet. We're gonna take an altar pose or reverse tabletop. Pressing through hands and feet, lifting through the heart and hips. One more breath here. And then exhale, go ahead and settle the hips back to the mat. Walk your feet together, knees opening into butterfly pose. This time you're gonna straighten that left leg out. Bring the right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Take an inhale, get nice and tall. As you exhale, let the torso fold forward over your left leg. Just allowing the weight of the head to fall forward. Keep flexing the left toes up towards the sky. Long, deep breaths to release. And on your next inhale, begin to walk yourself back upright. And you're going to take that right knee up towards the sky, either to the inside of that left thigh, or maybe you step it around to the outside if you can do so comfortably. Your left hand's gonna nestle into that left knee. Right hand comes behind you like a second spine. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, twist around that left shoulder, or that right shoulder. Inhale, get tall. And as you exhale, twist a little deeper. On your next inhale, come back into center. Go ahead and uncross that right foot. Bring your left knee up to meet it. One more time, hands are gonna come back behind you. You're gonna press through the hands and feet and lift up. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, go ahead and settle your hips down onto the ground here. Keep your feet right where they are. You're gonna bring that right ankle to cross over the left knee, and you're opening that right knee out like a figure four. If this is already way too much for you, you can straighten that left leg and just find a figure four sitting up nice and tall. Otherwise, you're gonna have that left foot onto the ground, and you're sitting up nice and tall, keeping from collapsing in the chest. And then to get deeper, you can walk the hands in towards the hips to get the torso closer to that thigh, or maybe you walk that left heel in closer to your hips as well. Taking just a moment to breathe here. You want to be feeling that right knee pressing away from the body, the heart and chest lifting high. And taking one more breath in and out. Leaning back into the hands. You can straighten your left leg out to release, straighten the right leg to meet it, and just shake them out. If you already had that leg straight, it's a great place to start. You can just cross that left ankle over the right knee. Otherwise, you're gonna bend that right foot to the floor, taking a moment to lift the chest and wiggle into your variation, walking that right heel in, maybe walking your hands in, feeling that left knee press away from the body, heart staying nice and lifted. And taking one more moment here to breathe in and out. And then go ahead, come back in towards the hands, straighten the right leg, straighten the left leg, shake them out. All right, we're gonna take one more reverse tabletop. If you wanna keep the legs extended and try a reverse plank, you can go for that here. Otherwise, bend the knees, and one more of those altar poses, really lifting up through the chest and heart. And then go ahead and settle the hips down to the mat. We're just gonna turn over and into our traditional tabletop pose. Wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We'll find a couple cat-cow poses here. So inhale, let the belly drop, lifting up your gaze. And then exhale to tuck your chin and let it round. And then one more time, inhale, drop the belly, lift your gaze. And exhale, tuck and let it round. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, neutral spine. Take your hands a little forward, about one hand width, and we're making your way to downward dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips high. And then bend one knee, press the opposite heel down. Then the opposite knee, stretching out the back of your legs. One more time, each side. And then both heels sink towards the ground, soften the space behind the knees, pressing your chest back towards the thighs. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And exhale it out. And then inhale, look forward, begin to tiptoe your feet to meet your hands all the way at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold it down. Inhale, root through the feet, rise all the way up, finding an upward salute. And exhale, swan dive all the way back down. Halfway lift, inhale, reach long through the crown. On the exhale, palms root down, step your feet back into a high plank pose. Take an extra breath in and out here. And then on your next inhale, get long. Maybe the shoulders come in front of the wrist. As you exhale, really keep those elbows tucked as you lower to the belly. Uncurl your toes. Inhale into cobra pose, lift the chest, squeeze the elbows in. And then exhale, lower down. We'll meet in downward facing dog, tuck the toes, lift your hips up and take them back. Deep breath in here and empty out. Two more just like that. Deep breath in. Empty out. One more breath in. Let it out. Gaze to your hands, walk or step your feet to meet the top of your mats. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, take it down into a fold. Inhale, let's stretch all the way up side. Body's long. And then swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms to the ground, feet move back, and you lower down all in one exhale. It's a full chaturanga. Inhale back into cobra or up dog. And then into downward facing dog, take your hips high. 3 breaths here, in through the nose, and let it out. Inhale, and exhale. Last breath. Empty it out. Gaze to hands, walk, step or float feet to the top of your mats. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. We're gonna sit low into chair pose this time. So getting the hips nice and low. Start with the hands at your heart, finding your chair pose with prayer hands. And then when you're ready, you can reach the arms high, full thunderbolt pose. Feel this fire. We're building some fire before we find ease. So embrace it and know that it's not gonna be there forever. One more breath. And exhale, let it out. Don't you love when your teacher says one more breath? You're like, man, it's usually right after you've given up, right? Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. You can skip this chaturanga if you'd like, or if you want to keep that heat, go ahead and flow through. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Your choice how you get there. Take a deep breath in and a breath out. Begin to reach the right heel back up behind you. Really get it nice and tall with an inhale. And as you exhale, we're stepping the right foot between your hands, spinning the left heel flat and rising up to find warrior 2. So I'll turn to face you. Warrior 2, bending in that right knee, sealing in the outer edge of your back foot, opening up the arms parallel to the ground. Bend a little deeper into your right knee. Really lift up through the crown. And then as you turn your palms to the sky, melt the shoulders down towards the ground. We're gonna big scoop with that right arm, reverse your warrior, feeling a side body stretch. As you bend a little deeper into that right knee, opening up a little further back. Nice, take an inhale, exhale here. On your next inhale, go ahead and rise all the way up. Nice. Begin to cartwheel your hands around that right foot, coming onto the ball of your back foot. Left hand stays planted. Right hand to your thigh, or all the way to the sky as you twist. You can always drop that back knee for more stability, or keep it lifted for more of that fire. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, go ahead and bring your right foot down. Sweep your right heel back to the sky. And then settle it down, 3-legged or downward facing dog. This time, inhale, sweep your left heel high, pause here. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, lift a little higher. As you exhale, go ahead and bring your left foot in between your hands. Spin your right heel flat, finding warrior 2 on your left side. So really bending deep into that left knee. Sealing the outer edge of your back foot down, stretching the fingertips in opposite directions. Then go ahead and flip your palms to the sky as you slide those shoulders down the back. Stay deep in that left knee and then scoop it up and back, reversing your torso into that reverse warrior. Big breath in and out. Inhale, upright. Exhale, cartwheel the hands around that right foot, spinning onto the ball of the right foot so that we're coming onto that low lunge. Right hand stays planted, left hand to thigh or to the sky. Once again, that knee can come to the ground for stability. One more breath in. And as you exhale, left hand to the ground, left heel back to the sky, 3-legged downward dog. And then exhale, take your left foot to meet your right. Take an inhale and exhale. Look forward, walk, step, or float feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold it down. Chair pose once again, sit your hips low. Inhale, reach your fingertips high. Stay low, reach high. One more breath. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, feet back. Option again to take chaturanga. We're about to slow down. So if you're really wanting to get the most out of this time together and need that fire, take it. Otherwise, you can always skip. All right, take an inhale and exhale. All right, begin to shift weight into your left foot. You're gonna lift that right knee and then bend the knee towards your chest, right knee. You're gonna turn it open and find that figure 4 across that left thigh. And begin to bend your left knee towards you, pressing your chest back towards that right ankle or right knee. Finding that figure 4. Then look forward, inhale, come forward, right knee comes behind your right wrist, left knee to the ground, walking that left leg back, keeping your hands close to that right shin, pressing into the ground to lift into proud pigeon, really puffing up through the front of the chest. Maybe the hands walk in even next to the hips, or maybe you even reach them back, finding a full open-hearted pigeon pose here. Take one more breath. And then as you exhale, begin to walk your hands down in front of you. Forearm to the ground. Maybe you stack your forehead onto your forearms or your hands. Wherever you are. When you're in this pigeon pose, you just want to feel whatever sensations kind of bubble up. We're not here to avoid or to fight them, so that fight or flight. We're not fighting to resist or suffer through any uncomfortable sensations we find. We're just there to meet it with grace and ease. And what happens if we just allow ourselves to be tight, allow that sensation to be there, and come back into your breath. And instead of ignoring it or trying to focus elsewhere, just allowing it to be just part of your experience instead of the whole experience. We're also experiencing a calm breath, softening the muscles of your face. Taking one more breath in and out here. Go ahead and begin to come back up onto the palms. Tuck your left toes under and begin to reach that right leg straight back, shake it out. And then settle it back onto the ground. All right. We're gonna try that same thing on the other side. Inhale the left heel back. Exhale, draw the knee towards the nose. And then turning open into that figure 4. So try not to lock out that right knee. You wanna bend it actually kind of deep as you press your chest back towards that left ankle. So you're finding a nice variation of that figure 4. And then look forward as you come forward. Bring your left knee behind your left wrist, your shins across the mat. Walk your right leg back. Walk your hands in and finding this pigeon pose on your left side. Nice and proud as you lift up to the chest, hands in front of the shins or maybe next to the hips. Really finding a nice open, proud chest. And then melting your way down on your own when you're ready to the forearms or maybe grounding somehow down through the forehead. Settling in. Maybe even transforming any frustrations that arise from any physical sensation. And turning your frustration into gratitude. That my teacher always says in order to heal, we need to feel. And so the ability to feel unlocks our capability to heal ourselves. And heal ourselves, starting with allowing ourselves to be just as we are right now. Starting our journey here with this breath, in and out. And on your next inhale, begin to rise yourself back up onto your hands, tucking the right toes under, taking that left leg up to the sky, shaking it out, and then making your way into your neutral downward facing dog. Taking a breath in, exhale it out. And then inhale, look forward, walk, step, or float feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Begin to walk your feet a little bit wider than your hips. And we're just gonna begin to sink your hips down in between your heels for a yogi squat. So if you can, you're really trying to get the whole, so I know if our feet are too narrow, the heels won't come down. Maybe walk them a little wider and see if you can get the entire sole of your foot on the mat, even if your hips are a little higher. Elbows are gonna come to the insides of your thighs, lifting up through the heart. I know this is that part that's uncomfortable. This is where we have to allow. So we notice beyond what we feel, where else do we grip, right? Where else are we resisting? Is it in our face? Is it in our toes? Is it in our fingers, our jaw? Hands to the mat. Lift your hips, taking a forward fold here. Shake your head yes, and shake your head no. Inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale one more time, turn those toes out and drop your hips down. Back into that squat. This time we're gonna bring the hands back behind the body and allow our hips to settle all the way down to the ground. Extend the legs out. Move your booty back if you need so that you have room to straighten your legs out on your mats. And then move the blessings away from your sit bones. Take an inhale, sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, forward fold over both legs here. I like to have the hands anchored. So if you can't quite grab the feet, it's no big deal. But wherever you can kind of grab on your shins or your legs, and then you're just kind of pulling back on the legs so that you can extend long through the heart. So we're not trying to get the nose to the knees, we're trying to get the heart almost like it's extending past the toes. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale out. And on your next inhale, go ahead and come all the way back upright. We're gonna lower ourselves all the way back onto the ground where we began. Go ahead and draw the knees in towards the chest. Rock from side to side. All right, and then take the soles of your feet straight up towards the sky. Rock from side to side and allow the hands to come underneath your low back, creating a little cushion for the back in our waterfall pose. So we're starting with just a simple inversion. And then we're going to take this to get some really practical core strength. So really the strength in our core that helps to hold us upright. Not necessarily, those six-pack abs, but the abs that really help us to stand in a nice tall posture. So you're gonna inhale here. And as you exhale, begin to lower the right heel only until you tap the ground. Inhale, lift the right leg up. And then exhale, lower the left heel. Inhale, left heel up. Exhale, right heel. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, drop the left. Just moving side to side with your breath. Inhaling to extend the heel down. Exhaling to draw it back up. Inhaling the opposite heel down. Exhaling it back up. A few more times each side, really feeling that burn, feeling yourself working here. Getting that practical strength in our low back that can really help us, especially if we tend to sit a lot at our desks. or hunch over a computer or a steering wheel. Last time, to the right and left, finishing with your left heel tapping down. And then take both heels down, tap them down, inhale and back up. Oh yeah, and then release. Let's go from side to side, rocking it out. Full body stretch, reach arms overhead, legs out long. Feels yummy. And then go ahead and bring the knees to chest. This time open the knees into happy baby. Soles of the feet to the sky, hands onto the feet. Rock from side to side. You can kind of take a kung fu baby, kicking out through one heel as you pull the opposite heel in. Maybe kicking out through both heels. And then pulling them all the way back in. Release the feet towards the earth. We're gonna keep the hands by the hips. Take one more bridge pose, pressing through the feet, lifting up through the belly. And then really paying attention as you exhale, curling down one vertebrae at a time, getting the low back to go down very last. And then walk your feet a little wider. You're gonna let both knees fall over to the left side. And you can just let gravity do the work here. You're already feeling that internal rotation in the right hip. If you need to go deeper, lift your left heel or ankle and set it on the right knee. It'll deepen the stretch on the right side. Arms can come out side to side. And take a breath in and out. Unhook your heel if you hooked it over that right knee. Bring the knees up through center. And as you exhale, drop them over to the right side, either letting gravity do the work or lifting that right heel, hooking it on the left knee, and taking a few breaths here. And hooking that right heel, if you took it, knees come back into center. And then extend each leg out, long. Finding your final Shavasana, seeing how you might already notice it feels different than when we arrived here just a short while ago. Scan through your full body and see how you can release into a little more ease. Really allowing gravity to support you and hold you up here so that you can fully surrender any tense or tightness in your physical body. And just allow yourself to come back into the gentle movement of your breath. In and out through the nose, breathing. And just being here. You may notice the mind tends to wander, and that's okay, that's natural, it's human. Our practice here becomes coming back. Instead of fueling the fire of distraction, or that monkey mind, we make the choice to come back to ease, come back to the breath, long, full, and deep. Begin to bring some life into the fingers and toes. I'm going to take an inhale, reaching in opposite directions, finding a full body stretch. And then keeping the arms overhead, drawing that right knee up like it's in a fallen chair. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, cross the right knee over the body. Keep reaching the left heel and both arms out long. And then coming back to center, just switching legs. Right leg stretches back out. Left knee comes to stack over the hip. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, just let the knee cross the body. Inhale, coming back to center. Bring that right knee up to meet the left. And either rock and roll front to back, or you can just rock over to the fetal position to come upright and find yourself in a seated position. We'll close our class here. Feeling your heart nice and tall, sit bones grounded. And go ahead and bring the palms of your hands to touch one another and bring the thumbs into the center of your chest. Close your eyes a moment. So the most difficult part of our yoga practice is showing up and doing the work. So we acknowledge ourselves for that. Whatever the work looks like today, just acknowledge yourself for being here, for taking this time out to tune in. Take a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, bring the chin down towards your chest as you bow to that wisdom within yourself that brought you to your mat. And take a moment with your mind's eye and acknowledge those fellow souls who made this choice to be here in this virtual community to practice with you. And that each of our individual motivations really create something magic when we come together, even in this virtual space, to support one another and hold each other accountable. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.